tell people more about the advantages of our product.
They never lose their cool.
Expand your mind. But I've got a better source of information.
What's going on? Dirty 30, beat down Brown. My boy Prince Marky E in the house.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, brother?
All good, fam. All good, man. All right, my family. You ready to go to the Bay?
Oh, you know I'm always ready to go to the Bay. I'm gonna be quite honest. After the 2 episode ago fiasco, this was definitely a welcome change going into the project on this one. It was I was cool. All right, so right here, my boy Prince Marky E hit me up with the mission. He's up there's like, check out it, man. E-40 just dropped a new one. Cleanse your palate a little bit. I have to say, man, check the album.
Yeah, man.
It was a time warp, man. It was a time warp. I felt unprepared when I listened to the project, man. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I felt unprepared. I was in the wrong whip. You know, I took the wife's Jeep. I took the wife's Jeep to the job. I was banging it, and I should have had a box Chevy. You know,
with some slap in the back. I got you.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, man. Go ahead. How you feel about it, man?
I was at the gig, man. I was going through it on the phone, and like you said, man, I had the wrong equipment once again. You know, and but overall, man, he doesn't miss. I mean, he could keep up with the time and also maintain his integrity all the time. And it's like I'm waiting for him to slip up just a little bit, and I just can't find. He's consistent. You know, if you want not a typical, but just a new E-40 banger, go get that new joint, man. It's hot. I mean, I think maybe out of what, 22, 23 tracks, maybe one is kind of, the rest is E-40, you know, that king of the slang, you know, God dang, man. It's like a continuation from he's like building his legacy, and it's like just a continuation from all his other hits. If you're an E-40 fan, you will definitely love this. Even if you're not, you will definitely love this fucking album.
I think the one thing that I looked at, and it's funny to me because I saw a meme somebody put up talking about Outkast. Up there's like, it's cool when you see your favorite rappers and did it so well that basically they just sitting up and doing side quests now. And they was talking about, you know, Dre playing the flute, Big Boy up there raising owls and
pit bulls,
and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the same thing on a different level when you're looking at Snoop and 40 Water. You know, these cats sitting up there, 40 launched the food business. He already got his liquor brand. He's doing everything everywhere. And even on the flip side of that, the one thing I look at him and Snoop, they've now messed around and flipped and turned their music back into the side quest. Yeah. Where it's just like 40, Snoop gets a little bit more experimental, but he still kind of sticks in his bag with it. But even with 40 is just like, you know what? Let me take your ass back to, you know,
the shit I like
real quick. He's like the only big change that happened with 40, if you really look at it from like the Sprinkle Me phase going up to now, is he went into the hyphy.
That's it.
But that's it. Even if you know, that's the Bay. That's his area. So it was my experiment was I was going to bring you a part of the Bay that only Mac Dre and them cats was bringing you. And then he's like, all right, stick a pin in that, put it right there.
Let me get back to it.
There you go.
Let me get back to it. Thank you for that observation, man, because that's the only detour he's ever made. And it wasn't necessarily it's a detour for us, but for him, he was like, this is us. That's you know, this is the landscape right here. This is what we doing. Like you said, I'm gonna bring a piece of the Bay and present it to the rest of y'all because some of y'all may not ever get a chance to experience it. And then when he dropped it, the whole world, you know, everybody goes riding the whip, you know, all doing all that Bay shit. You can't do that shit in Ohio.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean? You
And
can't
look,
do that shit
potholes
in the
alone to
Midwest.
make sure you can't do that in Ohio.
You mess around, hit a pothole, and your door's shut on your ass, and then what? You fuck. So you can't do that in Ohio. So E-40 don't, you messed up, doing that to certain areas, man. Everybody can't do all that, man. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, man, that's just a little funny side note on that one. But
Yeah, but I mean,
before the man ever made. And then, like you said, he went right back to his bread and butter. Him, when him and Be Legit link up, I mean, god dang, to me, it's like they're the Northern Cal version of Outkast or whatever. And when them two team up and bang on the track, oh my god, it's ridiculous.
and the crazy part about it is I'm not going to lie and act like everybody else. I can go down the catalog and be like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest 40 fan. I'm a fan of 40 the man
That part.
and
40
40 the rapper. I mean, I have an East Coast aesthetic, so 40
Yes.
40 the rapper wasn't always my action, but 40 a mess around and hop on a joint and make it something special.
Yep.
40 the swagger, 40 the slang, 40 the presence makes everything. I mean, dog, it was just like a continuation about Westmore, man. It was like it's just like
he's
what you get.
He's a West Coast rapper that made me hit the rewind button.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? You hit him like, hold on. What did he just say? And how did he know how to bend and twist words like no other. Like you said, got cats talking about, broccoli. His slang is like, there's Andre 3000, then there's E-40 slang. They out there somewhere. You know what I mean? And nobody's touching him on that. And that's what makes him, an icon to me on the West. He kills it, man. You can't think about the Bay without thinking about water. Water alone, man. That I remember that sprinkled me. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Then you listen to it like, oh shit, that's dope. You know what I mean? And that was early 90s. This dude damn near 30 almost shit with his underground stuff, damn near 40 some years in. And also never did a joint with Dre.
As far as I know, no.
Never did a joint with Dre. Come on, man. Like, I don't know what's going on with that one. And, I saw an interview and he was like, yeah, we never linked up. I don't know what it is, but, him and Dre has never done a joint. That makes no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
Somebody please get down in the comments and let me know if y'all know something I don't know. If 40 say something to Dre or whatever, I don't know, man. I just don't. That's a head scratcher for your boy.
I'm gonna let you know one thing that took me off top on that lifted. My boy is still flipping Diggable Planet samples, man.
Oh my! How you like that?
Still flipping Diggable Planet samples, man.
Yeah, with those
like
drums.
You said,
yeah.
Oh man, the Larry June joint. What's cool about it was I didn't have a problem with any of the features. Cass was banging. One shout out to the new school being up on this joint. NBA Youngboy was slapping on that "Get My Life Right."
Dude, that was hot. Only song I'm a little like, I really ain't feeling is 17 was Pressure with him and Bosco. That's it. Other than that, I didn't like that.
You want to know what's funny about Pressure? And I get what you're saying is a little bit off, but that's the funny thing about West Coast cats, because he hit a block there between Pressure, I want to say Suckers, or either that or it was It's Complicated. I'd have to go back through it because they flipped them old 80s R&B samples and chop them up and mess with them or whatever like that. And then even when they did the hand dance and stuff with Love Somebody and even with that Dose at the end of it, that's so West Coast that like them guys to do that. It was one of the things that like, is it going to be one of my faves? Am I going to spin it back around? Nah, but it was so I could see Snoop doing it just as big as him. And I mentioned Snoop because with the amount of releases that these cats do,
man,
that's where you have that comparison as far as West Side cats go.
And this is only part one. He said there's a part 2 coming at the end of this year or whatever. And I was like, 23, you give us 23 right now and you got another installment coming? Damn. This is only, if I'm not mistaken, this is part 1.
But this goes back to, like I said, when Skills talked about linking up with him
Mm.
when he went out that way, and Skills was like he said, I'm hardcore East Coast,
Right.
wasn't feeling this cat, whatever. He's like,
Right.
first thing that happened was this cat sent for me. He sent a car to pick me up because he wanted to get on some stuff with me. He's like, and not only did I chill at this man's big ass house, and this is more than 2 decades back. He's
Right.
like, not
Right.
only did I go kick it at this man's big ass house, he's like, but then I go off into this side room and this cat got a full studio up in the crib. So I mean, when you got a full studio
Yeah.
up in the
In the
crib,
house. Yeah.
I
You're doing
mean,
it.
I'm
You're doing
not
it.
surprised. I'm not surprised that you're saying there's going to be a part 2. We going to revisit this or whatever. But yeah, man, 40 is
He's an icon. And like you
he's
said,
that
man, they
cat,
said
man.
so many people got their game from him as far as going independent. He said like Russell Simmons, all those cats was like coming over, checking them out. Master P, all those cats was checking for 40 back in the day. You
And
know,
he's like, what are y'all truly going to give me to make me decide, oh yeah, you know what, I'll do that instead. You can't.
right,
He,
right,
I, you just can't. The way these cats built their clientele up, built their fan base,
right,
and have their areas on lock, especially that's the way when you have an underserved area, because it's like what in the Bay Area at the time, I didn't realize that Too Short was an import. He was doing it big, but he was an import.
right.
So as far as born and bred from the Bay Area and Vallejo, especially,
The
it's
soil.
like you got me and Hammer.
Yeah,
You-
yeah.
at the time, you got me and Hammer. So you got our movement and Hammer.
Yep,
Who else you gonna mess with?
yep.
I
That's
mean,
it.
that kind
That's
oh,
it.
and another shot I gotta get it. BG's verse on there
Oh my.
was fire.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
that quick. I
Oh yeah.
mean, you like I
He,
said, you got his dudes. He was bringing Larry June back up just to let it be known how it goes. Like you said, be legit. Speaking of independence, him doing the joint with LaRussell. I
yes.
mean, it don't get
Yeah.
no more independent than
Dependent
that.
on that. Yeah.
But
Filthy Rich, Gucci made out they was all on high end. That one track,
yeah,
that was a
bringing Gucci
banger.
back around for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
I like I said, man, I saw it and was just like, this man, he is shit, just killing the game. And I'm sure he has from his style, you know he has so much stuff that didn't make the cut. If he could drop 2 albums with over 23 joints per album, you know what I mean? You know he got shit that's just stacked in the vault, you know? So I understand he's
skill.
like, we could just release it whenever we want. It's been done. But go ahead.
Like I said, going back to the skills conversation, he said that he was hanging with that man for over 7 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, something like that.
Mhm.
And homeboy sat up there. He's like, we did 3 joints together. I ain't never heard. He's like, I heard him that day. We did 3. So I mean, if that's your story
Yeah.
going back then, that you
Yeah.
got joints that just never came out.
Right. Yeah.
You actively working with folks and you don't have to punch a clock because you are the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. Must
He
be
got all,
nice, man.
he got
Must
all
be nice.
types of stuff in the tuck. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like you probably got some unreleased shit from Pac. He probably got some shit, all from all kind of West Coast dudes. And like you said, don't just limit him to the West Coast. Like you said, he went to Skills. That's VA all day. He probably got shit from everybody that's just sitting in the can.
And let's go there for a second. He linked up with Skills when East Coast and West Coast cats were kind of shaky on messing with each other.
Right.
Now, and so I'm saying over 20 years, that's probably over 25 years ago.
Mhm.
Now you got to the point of where cats bounce back and forth all the time. They messing with stuff all the time. You could get anybody in for whatever. There's not all the BS. And like you said, before Rick Ross having his own estates where it's like, oh, I drove into something. He was out in Cali with something that's like, oh, I had to go off the road and
Mhm.
this was a whole nother area. When you have that to offer, ain't no telling. Because
Right.
I mean, let's go there. OT Genesis is Busta Rhymes, dude. That's Conglomerate.
Yeah.
That's Busta Rhymes label signing. We don't know if he got some bust stuff in the tuck that
I'm
just
pretty
hasn't
sure.
come to light yet.
Just wait until the next installment.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Let's just wait until the next installment, man. Ain't no
and
telling who's gonna pop up on his track. And you better bring your game because he will roast you on his shit easily.
yeah,
You better
yeah.
bring your game.
And you messing around with the fact of you show with having somebody like NBA YoungBoy, you ain't scared to mess with these newer cats. Yeah, I'm interested, man. He got my
Definitely.
attention, man. Salute,
Salute to
salute.
E-40 in the new joint, and we'll be doing another review when he dropped the other installment. But
I'm
oh
gonna have to
man.
be better prepared. I'm gonna make sure I got got my fedora and my NASCAR jacket. You know what I'm saying? I got a big Chevy Impala. It's the wrong year, but I might have to
I got
might,
one. I rep.
I might have to donk it up real quick for to listen to this next time, man.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right, fam. Let's transition, my guy.
Okay, speaking of saluting the West Coast,
You want to
a
go?
not so young fella in the game messed around and had a tribute to Eazy-E.
Yeah. Jellyroll.
Jellyroll, man.
He like you said, man, he's killing the game on the countryside now, man. He done flipped the script. I didn't know he started off in the rap game. I didn't know he was trying to, get his Bubba Sparks on back then. And I had to watch a
Man.
couple of YouTube clips of him. I was like, okay, it's kind of nice, before all the tattoos and shit. And then
Yeah,
you know,
Jellyroll is crazy because it was funny. Shout out to my homeboy Big Mike. I was at the gig talking to him, and he always asks, what's up for the next show? What y'all on? And so I was
yeah.
hipping him to it, and he's up there's like, yeah, man. He's like, never really paid attention to his music. He's like, I only know about him from hanging with 3 6 Mafia. And I was up
Yeah.
there's like, I know he looked familiar. I just wasn't paying attention with it because
Right.
this is another one of them cats I wasn't checking for like that, but I like their energy. Because
Yeah.
when he's doing that acceptance speech at the CMT Awards like that for Best New Artist, he was up there, talking about like, yo, anything you want to do, you could do that shit. He's like, look at me, Best New Artist in country is over 40 years old.
Right.
And I was up there, it's
Right.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Like,
even hearing his story, all this shit is about him getting clean and sober
yeah.
and just the effects of that and everything. I just got one request of the man because I pulled the adrenaline right here, went and pulled the old pain list, went back and listened to the country catalog, and I like his flow. I like his get down. My only request, and then going back to his rap shit.
Mhm.
Homeboy was fucking nice, man.
Little
He
bit.
was cold. And
Yeah.
you're legitimized when you're from Memphis and you hanging with the kings of Memphis. This go right up there. It's like being from Vallejo and hanging with 40.
That
You
part.
from Memphis and you hanging with the whole hypnotized mind camp. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like top to bottom.
Yeah,
You
they
with
they
these
rooting for
cats.
you. Yeah, they rooting for you. That means,
And
you got
that's from back in the rap days. So
right.
my only request of this cat is don't Kid Rock us, man. Be Everlast, don't be Kid Rock.
Thank
Be
you for
be
bringing that contrast, man. Thank you, because
Be
Everlast did it.
Everlast, don't be Kid Rock, man.
Rock.
If you
Yeah,
switch it,
please.
if you switch it from the rap to the rock and all that other good stuff,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
well, you switched all the way to the country. That's cool, man. I'm with you. Do
Right.
your thing. Still don't. I don't need to see you at a DeSantis rally coming up.
Even if that's so, man, but like you said, you don't have to go hard, right, and be so damn disrespectful to the point where it was like, dude, you contradicting your own self by, because you used to be down, and
Yeah,
now all that you against it now. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man, you're a walking contradiction now. Stop playing. Because that was your shit. That was your bread and butter back in the day. You was at the damn near, what was not the Source Awards, but something else. Remember he was DJing and shit or whatever.
mhm,
And I was like, what the fuck is this? I didn't know he could fucking DJ. He was getting down. He was mixing when they had the round robin of DJs. They had Jazzy Jeff. And then the last one was like fucking Kid Rockers. I was like, what the fuck is he doing here? And he was kind of nice with it with the ones and twos. And then, like you said, you start seeing this motherfucker at the rallies and just,
yeah,
taking a shit on, the culture. But yeah,
yeah.
please pull a Everlast, not a Kid Rock. Keep doing your thing, man. The dude is solid,
He's solid, man. I mean, I was like I said, I went back into listen to the cuts, listen
Mhm.
to the actual lyrics because I've been catching him on interviews and how he was talking and what he was talking about. And like I said, like his energy,
Yeah.
like what he's going off on. Because I'm up there, it's like, all right, is this another rapper coming out? Not honestly, that shows my ignorance on this one. I wasn't checking for it because it's just like I listen to new music all the time.
Right.
And there's so much new stuff hitting the waves, especially you got a streaming service or two,
Right.
and you just get bombarded with so much stuff.
Hmm.
It's like, man, come on, dog. How am I going to keep up with everything?
Right.
And but I do check for people what energy they have, especially if they're going to some of the known platforms and some of the offbeat platforms, and his energy is right, his message is right.
Right. Because I
Dude
think I saw
literally has
him.
skills. He's humble.
Right. I think they had a reality show or some shit. I don't know. I think the lady was watching him and his wife. His wife used to be a escort or some shit or whatever. And
Okay.
yeah, he was just like, "Hey man, she took me. She picked me up and dusted me off because I was at the bottom of the bottom." He's like, "Who am
Yeah.
I to who am I to judge?" I was like, "Hey man, it is what it is, man. Y'all building, y'all doing your thing. Y'all nothing. Getting nothing but success right now because you're on the right path."
Yeah, and the one thing I like about the whole situation in this lets you know that the promo tour is okay and the money is all right now. Your wife used to be on that, and y'all talk about going to church. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ain't nothing else coming
Right.
up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Whatever
Yeah.
being whatever. And like you said, homeboy was scraping the bottom. He was um I can't think of the comedian right now. Homeboy, talk about cinnamon, talk about reaching his cinnamon's pocket,
Oh
get a
fuck.
little good. But when they was sitting up there talking about, I was like, yo, what's your favorite weed? He's like, my favorite weed was cocaine. Jellyroll was right there with it. Like, he's like, dog, I was everything wrong. I was on.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he had a lot of cleaning up to do. That's why I said I like Homeboy's energy. I like the
Yeah.
fact that I'm going through his tracks. I'm going through the comments and cats talk about like, yo, man, I was really messed up and on that, man. I was up there, on all them scripts and listen to you. He's up there's like, that helped me a whole lot.
Mhm.
And I'm like, keep that energy up, man. And this game needs it, man. Everybody don't. I'll even go there with country music as much as because I actually listen to country music just as much as rap music, all like that. I don't need to hear how drunk you get and how depressed you get, because there was a point with Big and Rich and all the rest of the cats, and that's another one that disappointed me because I was the biggest advocate for Big and Rich to see y'all act like y'all wasn't with the culture, but y'all was up there happy to be around Little John and like that. It was up there pimping the culture to flip it back to country and a couple of
Uh-huh.
these other cats. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, okay, I see you.
Yeah, I
Y'all
mean,
up there crapping
put
on everything. And so to hear Jellyroll sit up there and be like, yeah, you know what? Nah, I'm not glorifying that because I had all that. And
right.
even listen to his old raps, like, yo, dog, I was selling weight, and that was not a good lifestyle. And
Right.
like I
Definitely.
said, homeboy from Memphis. Memphis is a different animal, man. Memphis is country Detroit.
And that makes sense to certain folks. That make a whole lot of sense to certain folks.
Memphis is country Detroit, man. Memphis is the there's certain places on this United States map that is cut way different. Shout out
Yeah.
to you, Queensbridge. Shout out to you, Compton. It just ain't.
But
It
it
ain't
ain't
the
the
same.
myth. It ain't the myth.
Memphis and Detroit is
Yeah.
different animals,
Some
man.
some
And
kind of different.
so to see dude come out of that, clean up, turn himself around, flip it up. We didn't talked about the man's backup. Basically, to let it be known, not shocked with him doing this tribute to Eazy, that this was nothing new. The man got the
Okay.
cred already.
Right.
You've been doing it. Sorry, I know we were supposed to just go off and talk about the tribute and all like that, and that's literally his forte. I'm shocked it just stuck with Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm
The
saying? As
thing
far as that
is
go.
what I liked about it was that the crowd, he did just like parts of the song. He had the crowd involved. So it was like, oh, y'all riding with me fully. You know what I'm saying? When y'all come to my show, y'all better be prepared. And that's what it was. That's what that made me pay attention to it. I was like, oh shit, man, he bringing the culture along with him. In the middle, maybe it's an intermission or something, and he just came out and did that joint. And for them to know it, that's not like it's a recent song.
But
You know what I mean? Go
but
ahead.
that's the thing about hip hop culture and where people have to stop hating on it. And the funny thing right now, everybody's talking about, oh, hip hop ain't selling, they ain't doing this, they ain't doing that right now. And I understand you're not doing the smashes, but everybody has to look at the fact that as far as hip hop culture goes,
Yeah.
and looking at our age brackets, we made the joke about, okay, when we are the elderly and we're like, oh, I'm gonna put on one of my old favorite songs, and this bitch better have my money by AMG.
MG.
You know what I'm saying? Like you put that on for the grandkids,
Yeah.
whatever. Hip hop culture literally washed through this whole demographic
Yeah.
because you got to
Yeah.
think about it. We are the homeowners. We're getting ready. The generation right above us or the cats who's buying the midlife crisis cars. You know what I'm saying? So you're
Yeah.
about to stop hearing Before I Let Go on the big expensive motorcycles with the loud sound systems.
Right
And
on.
you about to start hearing, you know what I'm saying, AMG E-40 and everything else
Yep.
coming off of that and
Yep.
the brand new Corvette purchases and all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These are those cats, man, and I'm talking about that across the demographic. That's whether you came up in the most suburb of suburbs, whether you
Mm-hmm.
came up in Nebraska, whatever, man. You was banging this.
Who is the biggest consumer of our culture? It's not
Go to
us. Go to these
any rap
concerts.
show.
Yeah, I
Go
was
to
about to
any
say, go
rap
to the
show.
concert and see who's in the crowd, front and center.
There's a reason why you had Kanye go to record in Montana, and it was still a thing. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? These cats, I made this point a couple weeks back when we was talking about what's my man, Tech Nine.
Yeah.
Tech Nine's fan base and the
Oh
fact that Tech
God.
Nine is still doing his thing the way he is,
Yeah.
his fan base, we happen to respect him or whatever, but they don't look like us. And
Not at
he don't
all.
have to go do a show. I would I would like to pull up one of his tour joints. I bet you there's a whole bunch of Nebraska, Iowa, Memphis, and those is arena shows. Those is crazy crowd surfing, just big joints.
Independent.
It's
So yeah.
independent, man, and
Independent.
that just goes to show you the reach. So yeah, somebody like Jellyroll reminding y'all, hey, that's a culture move right there. I just want to let y'all know we still respect and love y'all
Yeah, that
around
was
these parts.
yeah. I mean, that was on the love tip, and I appreciate that. And I was like, dude, I love how he hasn't forgot. You know what I mean? It's
Nah,
like he didn't put the culture on and off like an outfit. You know what I mean? It's in him. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like no matter what, like, oh yeah, don't forget, let me see the track list for the show tonight. Yeah, take that out and put some some NWA in it.
yeah.
I love it.
And like, don't, but I mean, going all the way back to Public Enemy, how they had they run with Zach De La Roca and all the rest of them, you know what I'm saying? The,
Crossover.
the crossover appeal, messing
Hmm.
around with Megadeth and like that.
Yep.
I
Crossover.
mean, it is what it is, man. Hip hop culture, man. It runs deep in the veins.
Let's not forget about DMC and Aerosmith. Come on, man. That was like,
Exactly.
okay, it can work. It could work. And it's been off to the races ever since. To me,
Yeah,
that
man.
was like the first one. But
And then
yeah,
you got new groups coming out. What's that one everybody's talking about? It's not bad. Uh, Oh, Death Grips. You
okay.
got groups like Death Grips that's like straight up and down mosh pit music, and they're rap. You know what I'm saying? That's a brother
Nice.
doing that. But
Nice.
that's what these cats do, man. I mean, it's just and then Run the Jewels. I mean, they
Oh
ain't
man,
nothing but
yeah,
arena mosh music.
that's it.
And I
That's another
mean,
one.
LP and Killer Mike. I mean, it don't
Come
get no
on,
more
man.
rap than that. It don't get no more hip hop than that.
Thank you.
That's company flow. That's company flow, and doggone Dungeon Family. I
Yes, sir.
mean, it's just that's the way it go, man. It's all love, man.
But
So yeah,
thank thank you again, my brother, for another episode of Dirty 30. And we'll be back at you on Tuesday. Yeah, you good
Yeah.
for Tuesday? Okay,
I'm good
yeah,
for
we're
Tuesday,
back.
man. Always.
We're good for Tuesday. Thank you again, man. I sent you my what you call it, where I was sitting at, so you can check that out. And it was a little bit more than what I said.
Yeah.
So I text you. But yeah, man, I get up with you. Go ahead and run that outro. And thanks again for new subscribers. Like, share, subscribe. Get down in the comments. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about or any suggestions. We appreciate it.
Hey, keep watching and keep sharing, man. We got the whole
Please.
crew here at the Schwebel room. We got the deeper dives and dialogues unlimited. We got the White House 3 PMD rocking.
Yes,
You got us
sir.
with Dirty 30.
Yes,
Make sure y'all
sir.
keep supporting, man. Love y'all. Peace.
Peace.